So in tonight's webinar, I'm going to be interviewing Hayden. Hayden has just bought a new estate agency right in the middle of lockdown period in his own local area. He had an estate agency there that he sold previously. He's at the higher end of the market. He's part of a franchise group. They are linked into London. I am spending time every night making sure we stay and my investors stay right at the front of what's going on in the market currently. So I'm going to be asking Hayden all sorts of questions about what's happening in the local market, what's happening in the London market. Are they seeing any changes in the way people are dealing with things? So I hope you enjoy the webinar this evening.
Evening, Glenn. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Pleasure.
Okay, so we had a chat a few weeks ago and it was more all about the COVID and the lockdown and all that type of stuff. I think we're probably 80-90% over that. Obviously, we are quite in a different situation now. Could you tell us a little bit more about where you see things? You've actually opened an estate agency branch in the meanwhile, haven't you?
Well, yes, but not quite open, but we plan to open at the end of the month, so yes, that's having a certain amount of opinions as to whether this is the right time to be opening, when most businesses, certainly when they look ahead to the government changing their furlough schemes, I think that inevitably will lead to not everyone maintaining and keeping their jobs, and I suspect there will be a certain amount of redundancies and people who can't necessarily manage on 60%, currently at 80% of the furlough of the money of their salary. They've been, had a rather nice couple of months off, staying at home, but I suspect at 60% that may change things somewhat. But opening a new office within the network of Fine & Country is something that's very important to me, something I always wanted to do and come back to owning again. But I think that in any tough market, there will be people who, and certainly estate agents, who will go to the wall and will close. But it's a challenging time, but I think it's a time of opportunity. There's people who do need to move still, and we need to make sure that we're there to take that amount of the business.
Yeah, but the estate agents that are already established are going to have the bounce back loans that they can work with, so they're going to have an extra 50 grand. And if the staff are furloughed in the office, you're not paying the council tax because that's been exempt, and I'm sure you can do deals with landlords, so they've pretty much eliminated all but the owner's cost to zero. And then when we're looking at people who are in a situation where they're on 60% wages, the chances are they've managed to get payment holidays tagged onto the end of their mortgages for their mortgages. So they're not going to be in a position to want to move at all, but something is out there that's happening because you've had quite a lot of new instructions and sales as well, haven't you?
Yes, so for me personally, back in 2008 when we had the financial crisis, I actually changed the way I did my business, and although I turned over 30% less money, my profit was up by 25% for that year. So I think in a tough market there are opportunities. You've got to work harder. You can't just wait for the sales to fall on your lap. You've got to go and create and work hard at it, and that's what we've been doing. And certainly for the last few months, I personally haven't stopped working. I've been looking after the pipeline and just giving a better, I can call that's a better level of service to my clients, because I haven't been out doing as many viewings in that lockdown period, but really just having a more of a personal relationship with your clients. But yes, in the last 23 years of being an estate agent, I've never been as busy as I've been recently. It's crazy. I've got more houses under offer than my available stock, which would suggest that really that there isn't that much competition. It's still really a seller's market, but I think that shift is going to come, and I think that shift is going to happen when the furlough period comes to an end, if people are losing their jobs or being made redundant, I don't think they're going to be moving up market, but we will see people who financially need to sell.
But
And
everyone said a little while ago that with the outbreak of this thing, that the property market was going to die. Okay, and now it's not going to die until the people under furlough are let go. Okay, but there's lots of companies like yours. You're going to need to take on new staff, aren't you? Right, you'll go.
Absolutely. So if you look at there's 3 points really. There's the pent-up demand from people not being able to move house, or people who are stuck in their flats who really want to garden. But there's people who are working from home now, and it's proven that they may go into London maybe 1 or 2 days a week rather than commuting every day. That gives them more disposable income. And it's about this work-home life balance. I think a lot of people have gone through a period of reflection and they do want to move. So there's the pent-up demand during lockdown. Now they can physically go out and view houses and buy. That's why we're so busy. I haven't been as busy as this ever in my life, because people want big gardens, or they want to get out of London. They want to move out to the nice green, leafy, open spaces.
I think this is more to the point, because a lot of companies have allowed people to work from home. The necessity to live in London, to be able to get into the office every day, has gone out the window. You've got the London prices where they can sell a 2-bed flat there and move into a 4 or 5-bed house around this area. It's not too far, because Milton Keynes is 35 minutes on the train to London. Okay, so that the location is fine, but you must have connections with the London offices. What's happening in the London
offices? Absolutely. So I spend a lot of my time trying to lobby our PR and media team, and it's a two-way street. So I help them with writing reports or updates or blogs, and they're very kind to me and promote my house. We had one of our properties, which was in the Times on Saturday, and they led with my property as a feature property, taking up 4 other boxes. That's great exposure for our clients, and we've already had 2 phone calls from that property. And I generally can tell you that we have probably more than 60% of our inquiries are people moving into the area from outside.
Okay, so
people are moving out.
What's happening to the London market at the moment? Are the property prices dropping? Where's the feedback going from there?
Okay, the feedback is that people selling or buying in London, they are factoring in their stamp duty into their offer.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing to tell you.
And the stamp duty isn't leverageable. So,
well, this is more your area of expertise, Glenn. With stamp duty.
Well, if you were buying a £2 million property in London a few years ago, you are probably now paying hundreds of thousands more for that extra 3%. So and we're going to reverse back. When Brexit came about, it actually came about at the same time as the stamp duty changes. And most of the shift in the market in London, because London hasn't just gone down, lots of areas have gone up. And all I'm seeing at the moment is a whole different, that they are factoring in the stamp duty, okay? And if you can...
That stamp duty on £2 million, and that's just over £150,000.
Yes.
So that's huge. I mean, most normal people, selling a house at, I don't know, £400,000, £500,000,
yeah.
That's their equity.
And my point is that bit isn't leverageable. You can't borrow the stamp duty on your mortgage.
Not anymore. But there's no cash back or stamp duty paid, as you say. No.
So that's going to kill the properties in that price bracket. And it's not really up. It's up to about 1.5 to 2 billion. It's not been hugely affected. It's in the £4-5 million bracket that London has really been hit. And the 500 grand bit's booming, and under the 5 million bit is really suffering. So within London, there's a whole adjustment going on in the market to take the stamp duty into account. And it's not just the fact there's stamp duty, it's the non-leverageability. So it's not like you're paying 300 grand more and you're being able to borrow 200 or 220 grand of it on your mortgage. It's not leverageable, so it becomes an affordability thing. All right. So that whole thing about London diving during Brexit, it wasn't anything to do with Brexit. It was to do with the stamp duty adjusting itself. So, but overall, we've got people in London that could sell a £2 million property and move into a £1 million property in this area that is much, much nicer.
Sure.
And if their company are letting it, so, and my feedback from the agents in the provinces, like Buckinghamshire and that, is that the nice houses in the area are being snatched up by people in London who have got their properties on the market. But, I've not had any feedback from London agents about, whether the prices, I know the rental prices in London, okay, a lot of the rental prices in London have dropped dramatically by like 20-30%, and the high-end rent, the stuff that was 20 grand a month is now 14 grand a month. That's taken a big hit, but I haven't had any feedback about prices in London taking a hit, but I have had loads of feedback about areas like Milton Keynes and stuff absolutely booming to a point that nobody's ever seen before. And I don't think it's a furlough issue, because anyone who's furloughed isn't moving right now.
No, for sure. I will give you an example. I'm just looking at my figures for the last 10 days. So not 10 days, so 7 days. I've been out to 6 valuations. All 6 have come on the market. Of those 6, I've agreed sales on 4. I mean, I've never had that sort of level of odds. I mean, your viewing to sale ratio, because of this pent-up demand and people wanting to get moved and etc., is fantastic.
But are they all coming? Are all the 4 sales coming from London, or where are they coming from?
Yes. So I said earlier that approximately 60%. That's actually probably a bit conservative. It's nearer 65-70% of our inquiries and viewing requests are coming from people who are coming out of London, in the London boroughs, wanting to come out to the nice, leafy, green open spaces.
So we are.
So one of our houses.
We are looking at London maybe dropping, but the province is going up, and a levelling of prices across the south of England because of the working from home aspect.
So just touching on that, so we have an example of a very nice property in Milton Keynes, in one of the old villages of Woughton on the Green, which, as you know, is a very sought after.
And they've got larger plots than average.
Yes, and it goes back to the medieval days, and it's very green and leafy, and you've got the Parks Trust, and you can be in the train station in 5 minutes. You've got Waitrose around the corner. It's the canal. It's very, very lovely. And sadly, our chain fell through on Friday night. So the person buying it, they lost their buyer due to personal circumstances. So we put the property back on the market on Saturday morning, and between Saturday and this afternoon, we've now got 7 viewings booked in. Of the 7 viewings, 5 are from people in London.
Right.
And they are, broadly speaking, and this is a house at 900,000, and they are predominantly selling very small houses or flats at that value, doing a sideways step move and gaining a house of 3,000 square feet with half an acre of garden.
Yeah. And what's the feedback on the company? Is it because they're now working from home they're doing this?
It's a combination, working from home and wanting to get out of what was originally regarded as a high-risk area, being in the city with all these horrible cases being reported and sad deaths. So it's a change of lifestyle, wanting a nicer place to breathe the fresh air rather than the London smog, and raise your family. Most of these people are families who want to have a better lifestyle and upbringing for their children. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it
You
is.
don't have to go into London 5 days a week.
No, and it is only 35 minutes on the train if they do want to go. And Woughton on the Green is what, 10 minutes in the car in rush hour, and probably 5 minutes in the car outside of rush hour.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's an example of that amount of viewings within 2 days of being back on the market.
Yeah.
And we'll get it away again. So providing that the houses are marketed at the right level and they're sensible. And equally, there was a lady who wanted to instruct me yesterday to sell her house in Only, and she wanted too much money for it. Mm-hmm. So I respectfully turned it away. She also wanted a lower fee, which I wasn't prepared to do. And those people tend to be the most demanding people of your time. But no, it's about being confident that the houses we're marketing are priced correctly, and we can prove it, the value of comparable evidence, so when the surveyor comes around, we're not subject to down valuation.
But you are predominantly in the market of 400 or 500 grand plus properties rather than the cheaper end of the market.
Yeah, so the people who are buying our properties from, as you say, 500,000 upwards to 2.5, 3 million, which is really my level of values. And that they, in the main, are unaffected unless they are self-employed business owners who have got issues with their businesses. And I would question whether their businesses were actually that viable at the start of the lockdown period. I think maybe there might be lots of excuses coming out from people as to why they're going to the wall, but I think they were probably on the verge anyway.
Yeah,
and any money that you do obviously borrow has to be paid back.
Yeah, and we are going to. It is a period of eliminating the weaknesses, isn't it? From a business perspective. But yeah, I find it fascinating, and that's why I love doing these, because it keeps me so in touch with what's going on in the market. So look, if anyone's got any questions for Hayden, Hayden's Fine & Country franchise in Milton Keynes. He's also in touch with the Fine & Country franchise holders in all the London areas. So, where do you see do you actually see the London market dropping because people are moving out and getting rid of their properties?
It's very difficult because it's like what newspaper you read or what news channel you tune into. I think.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in them. I'm asking you because
okay.
you're the source.
This is what I think. Okay, so if people are working from home more, they haven't got to travel into London. They're going to move out of London. They're going to get more house for their money. They're going to bring up their children in a much nicer environment, and there is the pent-up demand that we've spoken about. Then you couple in with interest rates. Well, money's never been this cheap to borrow. So even if you were to fix your interest rate on a 5-year fix, you know what your outgoings are going to be. So yes, if there is a dip, it'll come back again, and then the value doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But I think for any investors, they're not going to negotiate a good deal in the home counties.
Well, you're not plugged into that side of the market, are you? So, the investor market isn't the over 500 grand in our area, it's under 300.
I just think whilst there's lots of viewings and lots of people outbidding people, this huge pent-up demand, which, no one knows how long it's going to last for, I think it's still going to be a seller's market until things... Yeah.
Do you think it's also that people have had bounce back loans and they're using them to upgrade their family homes?
I can't comment because I'm not privy to what other businesses are doing with.
No, I mean your clients that are buying them. I mean they're both entitled to use the money for whatever they want. They're supposed to use it really for growing their businesses. But I know that a lot of people that have got bounce back loans in the investing market are using them to leverage buying more properties.
Yes.
Now,
I have to be careful in answering that question, Glenn, as I'm married to a banker. So I'm not privy to what everyone is doing, but it is rumoured that people are using that money to safeguard their businesses. But yes, I have heard that people are investing their money, and I'm not sure of the legal wording, what they can do or can't do with that money. You'll probably be best placed to answer.
I'm pretty sure that their company could lend them that money if their company can justify it, and if they then want to use it to buy a property and upgrade their own personal property, which has now made it affordable for them to buy somewhere.
I'm sure there are people out there using their monies to not necessarily trade in their business, but actually to improve their own personal situation. I'm sure there's lots of home improvements going on, and using. I think because it's been made widely available, people are taking it, even if they don't feel they need it. They're taking it, so they've got it as a backup, as a reserve.
It is such cheap money, isn't it? And it's put a huge amount of money into the
whole
whole market.
If the government's backing it for a year, and then for a 5-year period, and then there's no interest to pay for the first year, why would people not do it? And I'm sure banks are incredibly busy with lending to people because it's so available.
Yeah, for definite. Right.
Although it's available for self-employed or sole traders, it's a legitimate business, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to have a business bank account.
Now, I think at the moment people are just listening and nobody's actually asking any questions. I think most of the people on here are kind of listening and interested in the market trends and that type of stuff. But nobody seems to have a question for. Oh, hang on, we have a question here coming in now. So, right, so I've got all of a sudden 4 questions coming.
Well, I think it's thorough. I'm boring all your listeners. I think it's not the latter.
No, you're definitely not boring. Right, so Fitzroy has just made a statement that HSBC are off the wall busy. There are so many companies in that situation. Eric says, thanks for the webinar meetings. Find out if I can email you some property links to get your advice on them, please. Eric, if you want to chat on one of the relevant evenings, that's more than okay, but my mentoring program is where I help my clients and give them advice. I do get loads of people asking for advice outside of that, which makes it almost impossible for me to serve my mentees properly and give people advice from a time aspect. So Jogan said a little off-piste in relation to the opportunity of last night. All but one of the properties on the list sent to me was a new build. This was a little unexpected. Do you expect these to appreciate over the next 20% over the next 5 years? I don't know, Jogan. It's going to depend on the area. I've not actually looked at the list. I do know that when builders get to their year end, they need to get rid of their properties because it's more important for them to get the numbers right for their shareholders than it is to maximise all the money on all the properties that they sold. So I have bought year-end bargains off of builders where they've sold cheap just to fulfil their shareholders. But I can't comment on what you're just doing because I've not seen them.
Glenn, can I just interject there?
Yeah.
I had 2 conversations with 2 new home builders today.
Yeah.
One in Sherrington itself, where they're selling some rather large houses, typically at 600,000 plus, and they're now offering they've released phase 2. And you'd think that some buyers believe there would be some negotiations, some deals to be had, depending on which newspaper they've read. But the site were very much, no, we've got so much demand. We've sold everything we've released, and we're not doing deals, but I suspect nearer their year end, whenever that is, as you said, they might change their stance. Believe me, I spoke to another developer over in Toaster today, a rather large house builder, who are now doing deals. They are now doing deals with stamp duty. They're looking to maintain their sale prices, so it helps them for comparables and future sales, but they are doing deals. But that is at a lower value proposition at 300,000 and under, rather than the 700,000-800,000 that I mentioned in Sherrington.
Yeah, so it might actually mean that people are paying their bounce back loans to pay for the extra stamp duty they're being charged.
I'm sure there's also, I mean, there's sweeteners in deals, and people would not quite on the fixture and fittings, but you would have 911s being thrown in, and ride-on lawnmowers, and boats, and caravans, and motorhomes, but now, as you say earlier, the leverage has changed.
Okay, so Catherine says, do you see any new developments happening in London, and how do you see the rental market once furlough ends in October? Two totally different questions. Do you see new developments happening in London? Yes, for definite. I see them still very profitable in the under 500 grand bracket. Okay, but the over 2 million bracket, I'm holding my breath on that bit at the moment. But the under 500 grand stuff is still going mad. How do I see the rental market? In London, a lot of the high-end stuff have already reduced their prices to try and do something with them. But rental demand, again, looking around for one of my clients, a higher-end rental property in Essex. There was nothing on the market. Everything higher end has gone because the people who were renting in London are now looking to rent somewhere else instead. And they've got a large budget for rent. We're talking about people with budgets of 5-10 grand a month. From that end now, the bottom end, which is more the investor level, I've not had any questions or any reason to believe that the rent demand is still there. Do you actually deal with rentals in your company, Hayden?
We do, and that's something that I'm looking to develop. Certainly when I open the office, and because there's a huge market there, people who it goes hand in hand. Sales goes hand in hand with lettings. People decide to not sell, then they come to you for the rental side. And I think that the rental market is still very busy. And booming, and I think that there is a shortage of supply, but again, if it's at the right money, it'll rent.
So I've always in Milton Keynes, because of the demand, I've always held open days for properties rather than just have 3 or 4 clients view it. And then I've had an online bidding system. So if we expected to get £800 a month for a property, we'd guide it at 900, and we'd probably end up getting somewhere between 850 or 925. We would get over market price because people just needed the property, and they'd have to pay whatever they had to from a bidding point of view. So that always works really well.
That's interesting, because that's a similar, not too dissimilar strategy to how I operate. We'd obviously much rather have a better use of our time. So we have open days, but by appointment. But rather than have an asking price, we go in under market value and do offers over often. And that generates a lot more interest, like an auction room. And then once people see each other, you've then demonstrated social proof that it is worth what you're asking, and it's going to go for more, because that's the expectation. And then when people see other people are interested, with that social proof, you instill the fear of loss, and they put their best foot forward. So that way we have multiple offers, and the vendor chooses the best buyer. And the best buyer isn't always the one offering the most amount of money. It's speed and ability to complete.
Yeah, because 1 month delay could, it makes a big difference across the year's money. Right, so Ben's made a statement. Ben, who I call Ben the Builder, who's done a couple of interviews with me on, where he is with his more one-off new build type stuff. He actually says his girlfriend works for a well-known estate agency in Norfolk, and they are flat out busy with sign-ups, massive demand in the southeast at the moment. So this rumours originally of the big, property crash just isn't happening. It's actually on the contrary, and Yeah, it just is, it is. So I've had an email from someone, Dave, saying he hasn't received the list yet. Now, if you just emailed me, I haven't had a chance to send them across yet to Mark. If you sent them to info then some people have had them. But I will make sure that I get all them over to Mark to send out the list by tomorrow. Right, Tayan says, I'm self-employed. Is Hayden self-employed? Business people are not allowed the 50k bounce back loan, as I've been told anyone can get it. I would talk potentially to Christos. Now, if Christos is available tomorrow night, because I've had a cancellation on the person, we can run a session on bounce back loans tomorrow. Can I have some feedback from everybody if that would be of interest? Getting Christos to run a session on bounce back loans. He's been helping lots of different people in lots of different employment. Yeah, they're flying in. Okay, alright. Okay, we've just had a... Okay, alright, stop. I think bounce back loans is, Gary, you want to see this, it's gone mental. It's just flown down. So, alright. We'll look at running a bounce back loan evening tomorrow night. Right, we've running through the questions. We've answered all the questions for you, Hayden. So now you are saying that you think it may be just a pent-up demand and it might not be continuous. But where were you January and February after Brexit had been announced?
After Brexit, everything was looking good, wasn't it? You know, the reports that were released by Halifax and the Nationwide that house prices were increasing, and that we've got a plan and we were moving forward with Brexit, and everyone was feeling good about themselves, and activity was really good. And then we had the results released 2 weeks ago, but in May there was a 1.7% drop by the Nationwide, and there's all sorts of different scaremongering going on.
Mm-hmm.
But just going back to my earlier comment, you know, I've never been as busy as I have been now. I've got more houses under offer than sale, and I was sitting at my computer after putting my children to bed the other evening, you know, and had something to eat, and sat down at 9 o'clock, and I worked through to midnight, just clearing my emails and catching up on admin, because I mean, I've never had that before, but I don't know what's around the corner. But as long as this demand continues, we're just trying to make as much hay as the sun is shining, and the sun is shining.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting couple of months. Okay.
Well, right. I think also, Glenn, if people can't go abroad, okay, and they're looking at going on holiday after the government makes their changes and announcements for July, people will be going to Norfolk and Cornwall, and various people in Cornwall are up in arms saying we don't want you to come in the masses that you will be coming in, and you know, just as the sales of motorhomes have gone up, and people are going to be staying in the UK, they will want bigger gardens for their children. So personally, you know, I bought, you know, a swimming pool for our garden. I've bought a croquet set to play croquet. It's all outdoor activities related to occupy your children and to enjoy, because people can't go abroad.
Hayden, you're starting to sound like the type of person that holds their little finger in the air when they're drinking their coffee. Croquet.
No, but it's true though. You know, it's so busy. I'm taking on more staff, and we need more help to cope with this.
And I really think, right, that the businesses that are booming are going to be taking on the staff that have been furloughed by other companies. So we're just going to see a shift in employment, where they're going to go back into work, but working for someone different, that are in a company that are, where it's working more online, more, you know, regional than, you know, perhaps London. I find it very fascinating, and I really appreciate you joining us and giving your feedback, because it's feedback from people like yourselves that are right on the front line, the coalface of where it's happening, that allows my clients to stay right at the forefront and make sure we make very educated buying decisions in what we're doing. So that's really good. Thank you. Right. Paul says, have you noticed if they're coming from a particular part of London and what age are they?
Okay, so the demographics, we've had a number of people from Guildford and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Godalming, something like it sounds like that, and people certainly in South London, South East London, Cheam, and also North London, certainly Enfield, Possum Bar, and Islington. We've had a number of inquiries for people who we have Islington selling a two-bedroom flat that's worth $500,000, like 600,000, and they are upsizing. And why wouldn't you? Because now is the time to.
If they're selling for 500, are they just upsizing and buying at 500, or are they upsizing and buying at 600 or 700?
They're buying at 5 and they're looking. So selling at 500 and looking. I'd say 50% are looking to take on a little bit more, maybe 20-25% more, and others, I'd say the other 50% are looking at almost doubling. So people are not afraid of taking on more debt and improving their houses.
I think this is the company owners who've got bounce back loans using them to buy houses. It'll get more and more like that from me.
I know that we've, of the people who've viewed and they've given us their proof of their finances, and we can see that they're selling at 5 or 550 and they're increasing their mortgage, but they're also adding savings to the pot, and they are pushing themselves because interest rates have never been so low.
Yeah.
And if you can have a 5-year fixed, and you know exactly what your outgoings are, you know your job is secure, why wouldn't you be doing this?
Or your business, yeah, okay. So are they employees or are they actual company owners?
I would say probably 70% are employed, and they are employed at good levels, they've got good incomes, that they're earning, £200,000 a year, and they're safe, but they've also got relatively low loan to values.
Right.
So there isn't any issue with any valuations to be concerned about that.
So
no, there is definitely that demand rather than an internal migration. It's people moving into the area, and that's what we're seeing.
So David Nicholas making a comment. All businesses will have to contribute as of August. This is when you'll see 750 to million added to unemployment. What happens then? What has historically proven when this happens? Too many companies struggling against companies that are successful at the moment. So I think what David's trying to say is that the proportion of companies that are doing well, that are taking on staff, there are less of that than there are people that are struggling and getting rid of staff. And obviously the furlough system is giving people the opportunity to get rid of, let me put it bluntly, shit stuff.
Yeah, I think that, as a lot of businesses are taking the view, why wouldn't they furlough their staff, not have to pay their staff, and there might be an argument that those people may not all be coming back, and those businesses are just waiting to gauge the response. And if they're busy, they'll employ more people. And I think if you look at pubs and restaurants, those people at that level, and that level of income, they may not necessarily be buying, the workers in hospitality may not be buying a house, and the majority may be actually renting. So I don't think that they're as affected, but the business owners, I'm not seeing lots of business owners suddenly taking additional debt or mortgages or bounce back loans. What we are seeing is very safe bet buyers who've got good jobs, whether they're partners or directors in good accountancy firms, law firms, and if their job is safe and they believe it to be secure, they are upsizing and they're making the most of very low and affordable interest rates.
Okay, right, brilliant. Okay, thank you, Hayden, for joining this evening and giving us your take on the market from an estate agent's perspective. Is Very
No, my pleasure. Good to talk
appreciated.
to you.
Maybe in a couple of months we can get you back again and see whether anything's changed. Would be
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
So thank you for joining us. Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. I will make sure you get an email tomorrow. Tomorrow is either going to be one of my Q&A sessions and we'll get the bounce back loan on Thursday, or we'll talk about bounce back loans tomorrow night. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday, and Thursday I'll do my thing, and then Friday is the mortgage broker evening. So thanks very much for joining this evening. Really appreciate your support. If you do know anybody who's interested in listening to the webinars every evening that are in property, that'd be great if you could forward them a link. And other than that, have a great evening. Enjoy the sunny evening and maybe a glass of wine. I'm sure that's what you're going to be doing, Hayden, in your new swimming pool stroke garden jacuzzi.
Talking, my wife just bought me a glass of wine. So yeah, so all good. Enjoy your evening, everyone, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, Hayden. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow evening.